We never learn. We never learn.
What do we not learn?
Well, a certain person gets invited back on to take over the airwaves. We keep doing it to ourselves.
Oh, we've got a timer. I've got my phone timer is set up, so any time that we let him speak, we'll just say, right, 2-minute timer, and every time the buzzer goes off, we'll just cut him off mid-sentence.
An air horn.
Yeah, it'll just be like a little timer, and we say that's it. Next person can speak. Anyhow, let's get them all on here. I say all because it's not just our wonderful talkative friend Matthew Brind, but we've also got the fantastic Dave Compton, Polish Dave, aka Dawid Rzaca, and James Wanklyn, all joining us for a very special episode for your viewing and oral pleasure. This is the predictions episode. Thank you, gentlemen. We're all there, all in the room.
You need to tell predictions for what?
Predictions for what exactly? Predictions for the World Mountainboard Championships 2023. Now, we've got the cream of the crop here. There were a few other invites, but unfortunately scheduling means that we are left with us glorious six here. Thank you all for joining us. And we're just going to have a little bit of fun here this evening. We're going to chat about the upcoming championships in France. They are taking place from the 11th, Matt, is that the thing? Through to the 15th in Compton, and then we're up in sticks and moving across to Super Bess, Sancy, for the downhill leg, which is from then till the 18th. This is the Triple Crown event. There are 3 overall titles, if you will, up for grabs here. We'll go through into some stats. Discipline. We'll go through some stats, and Matt can correct us all and give us the lowdown on previous historical world championships. And what we'd like to do, gents, with you guys here is get your current predictions as competitors in the past at world championships and stuff like that, and give us your thoughts on what might be happening or what we might be seeing at this year's championships. So without further ado, I reckon we could probably do, if it's okay with you, gents, getting down to some nitty gritty and give the man some airtime before he cuts someone off. Let's have Matt's stats. So if it's okay with you, Matt, we've got a little timer here. And there's
all right, but first, Dan.
Go on.
For those who are listening on audio, let's introduce everyone who's here, unless you already did it.
Oh, okay, yeah, go on then.
All right, hi, I'm Matt Brind.
Hi, Lee. Sorry, Lee was in the background. I was just introducing those audio listeners there. We got the wonderful Lee in the background.
Who else have we got in the room? Let's go alphabetical. See you guys figure that one out.
Well, then surely that would be David Compton.
That'd be me, the backup choice.
David Compton. Current Dave, you had a decent ranking at last year's UK champs, didn't you?
I think I got 4th in the Masters.
Fourth in the Masters, narrowly missed out on the podium to that damn reason.
Yeah, gutted.
Oh,
devoed. But I'm glad to hear as well, Dan. I'm the backup choice for tonight, having got me there. And people couldn't come, and you asked me 20 minutes before recording started.
You're welcome, Dave. You're welcome.
Need to be a backup.
So you've got your 3 predictions for each category, each discipline ready to go, yeah, Dave?
I got nothing. I got 0 points.
Okay, you've got the charisma though. That's all that really matters.
David, you will know. Dave, you will know from the BFC crew recently. Has now seen a couple of Dream Teas and Jam at Bugs over the last couple of years. You're known from the fabulous genre-defining movies such as Vilmagenic, Picture This. Picture This, Like This.
Have we got a timer for Dan's intros, or is it just me who gets a timer?
No, it's my ship, Matt. It's my ship. Yeah, okay, fair point taken.
Sorry.
Dave.
We all love you, Dave.
You have competed World Freestyle Champs before, have you not?
Have I got top 15 when it was at
Swinburne?
the one? Yeah, Swinburne, that one in the final set. That was a good one.
Yeah, massive jumps back then.
I remember a huge frontside 3 Melanie Methody thing on the second one. It was just
meant to be a
huge.
melon, but yeah, they go a bit messy, unfortunately.
I can see Dave's eyes widening then as like, how the hell does he remember this?
It's the only trick I can do. He probably doesn't remember it.
No, I've got the vivid image. It's actually of an 80 Borders video, if I'm being absolutely honest, or maybe it was Jack's. Yeah.
So our next rider here with us in alphabetical order would be Dawid Rzaca. David, joining us from Poland. Thank you for giving up a little of your time here this evening and coming back and joining us on the dirt. It's great to see you, brother.
Hi, everyone. It's really nice to be here with you guys. It's going to be a really nice topic today, I think. Let's have fun.
No stranger to the world scene, though, are you, David? You've had a few appearances now on the world scene. Give us a rundown of your personal results.
Can you repeat?
On your world championships of the past, how have you fared? How have you finished there at those?
I took part, I think, at the 5 world championships. First one was in Moscow, 2012, when I was a kid. So there I was 12, if I remember good. Or 13, something like that. Then it was France, Slovenia, Poland, and now it will be another France.
Germany first, wasn't it? Didn't you do your shoulder in on the camelback Wu-Tang thing in Brosselach?
Yes. Oh, sorry.
The year of the ambulance.
I also was in Serbia, 2016, if I remember good. Okay. So it was more.
So here's a quick stat for you. David's coming into this year hoping to keep a trend going. 2 world border crosses ago, he came 3rd. The last world border cross, he came 2nd. So now he needs to finish off the battle.
Number 1.
I can't do that for you. Sorry.
I thought you were going to come in full confidence here.
No.
Had a season on snow and getting back into it recently. We can see that the parks have opened up, the mosquito parks opened up a bit, and you're riding there again, and getting your eye back into riding dirt again now.
Yes, we try to ride a lot, but the weather in Poland sucked this year. Winter was really good, but the summer season just started maybe 2-3 weeks ago. We opened our parks, but they are not full ready. You can say that like that. We have opened maybe a few jumps, so it's not the best, but it's working.
Nice. Joining us centre screen on my screen and on the tube as well, Jay Dizzle Dub. What's on? James Wanklyn. Is us. What do you mean?
It's like a name for each other, you know? He Dizzle Dub.
How are you, my man?
Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, I'm very good. Very good. Again, no stranger to the world scene. You've had plenty of experience.
Yeah, I've done every single one since 2013, apart from Germany, because I had 2 slipped discs in my back, so I missed that season. But I've done all the other ones. So I've had a couple of fourths in the border cross in a row. The favourite 4th place. I've had 4th again in freestyle in Poland. I had a really, really good 2nd in Slovenia freestyle until some idiot made a mistake on the spreadsheet. It turned out I actually got 3rd.
I remember.
Yeah, had to swap positions due to a spreadsheet mistake.
Always awkward when that happens, isn't it, boys? I wonder what dipshit's responsible for that.
So yeah, third's my best result, but yeah, I've done a fair few.
You got third in Compton for freestyle as well, right?
Oh yeah, third in Compton freestyle, yeah, and fifth border cross. So I've had 4 semi-finals in the racing, but the best.
Nope. You've had 5 semi-finals. You're tied for the joint second most number of semi-finals appearances at the World Border Cross. You've had 2 fourths, 2 fifths, 7th, and a 25th.
I forgot about Slovenia. Yeah.
The stats for this, the stats for James. Sorry,
I'm not sure anyone else is needed here except for Matt. Me and Dan can even leave the premises.
I've got the stats up on here for a cheat sheet. You see.
Well, let's hope that spreadsheet's better than the one you used in Slovenia, then. Yeah.
It is. I care about this one. So yeah, James's stat was that he's hoping to get his first border cross medal this year, having come very close on 5 occasions, arguably.
Yeah.
That's it. We're all assuming that we're going up then.
Well, you got to aim up, right?
That's it.
You don't want to be looking down.
So come on then, Matt. Tell us, have you ever competed at the World Champs at all?
Look, it's okay. We don't need to go there. I've done
we don't. Right. We have covered an entire saga of a 3-hour episode on
quite a few of that. Yeah.
Was it only 3 hours?
That was part 1, Sloggs.
Oh, that was the hardest 3 hours of my life. That was, to be fair.
I know you had a raging boner on the whole time, didn't you? You absolutely loved it.
You're not wrong.
For Sloggs that night.
So yeah, for those listening to audio, those are our 4 guests joining me and Sloggs here this evening. Thank you for the G up there, Matt, and getting me to introduce our guests. I guess I was a little bit carried away with the excitement here.
Oh, of course.
So come on then, Matt. You've already come out with a few stats there, and I'm sure that as we go through with predictions and stuff like that, you might be able to pull us out a few individual stats about the mentioned riders.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be remiss if there weren't. I know, because I've already had this conversation with you, but I know that there are a few quite cool. Well, if you're geeky, if you're into this sort of thing, if you're listening to this episode of the podcast in a predictions manner, you might be thinking, oh, I wonder who I have on there. Who my predictions would be. And we asked you guys on Instagram to send us in your predictions, but you're lame is all I can say to the entire community.
Where that one's going. Goes one way or the other.
Just call all our community lame for it.
Everyone's voted Tom Patman. Obvious.
But yeah, so Matt, give us some of these stats that we had a few chats about the other day.
All right, I'll try and keep it quick. First, a history. So this is the first border cross freestyle and overall titles since 2019, so that's 4 years. First downhill since 2012, so that's 11 years since that. For a history of reigning champions, so the people with everything to lose. Border cross is myself, freestyle is Nicky G, downhill is JC of No Snow fame. Haven't seen him in a while, so I don't think he's going to win that one. Overall is myself. Now, jumping into, let's keep history, actually. So there have been 10 World Freestyle Championships with 7 different winners so far, 7 World Border Cross Championships with only 2 different winners, and 4 World Downhill Championships with 2 different winners, if you exclude the no breaks category. Because when there was no breaks, the breaks beat them every time. Mm-hmm. Fun facts, then. So I literally put fun facts. There is a curse on border cross. So no one who has ever qualified first place for the border cross has won the border cross. It's been won 4 times by the 3rd qualifier, twice by the 2nd qualifier, and 1 time by the 6th qualifier, but never by the 1st qualifier. So that's everyone's goal every year, is to break the curse. So you see that hashtag? That's what we're talking about. Qualify first and win. Never been done. Also, no one has ever won a title in all 3 disciplines across any number of years. No one's ever had all 3 of them at any point. This is also the first year that all 3 disciplines are up for grabs in the same year. So that's interesting. The Triple Crown, like you mentioned. Second page, here we go. And then a nice little one for us GB chaps. There has been at least one GB athlete in the border cross finals every single time. And before 2019, there was always at least 2 GB athletes in every finals. So that's quite nice.
Yeah.
A quick, the mostly border cross because I've got all the info on the border cross. But a quick, let's dive over to freestyle quickly. I've got one more fun fact for freestyle, and that's that a double backflip has never been landed in a World Freestyle Championships competition.
Is that right?
Landed just after and attempted during, but never landed during the freestyle competition for the Worlds.
I feel like that's definitely going to change this year.
Oh, there's about 4 of them going to be landed by different people, I think, this year. Flicking back, here's a quirky one for you. Evgeny is the 3rd most successful in border cross at the World Championships, whether you take best 2, best 3, or all of his results, or everyone's results. Evgeny Vidyony of Russia, he is the 3rd most successful border cross racer in the world. That's quite a nice one.
Yeah.
Not so nice. Cody Stewart either makes the finals or he goes out in the quarterfinals every time. He's never got out in the semis.
So is there? I wonder, is there a pattern like finals out, finals out, finals out? Or
there was, yeah. So the first year he won, then he came 17th, then he got 2 seconds, then a 12th, then a 1st, then a 13th.
Oh.
So every time he wins, he dunks it off straight after.
Yeah.
Quarterfinals.
Oh,
man. Another little streak for you there then. Andy, my brother, he always makes the semi-finals of the World Border Cross so far. So he's the other one tied with James on 5 semi-finals apiece. They've both made 5. James has got 5 out of 6. Andy has 5 of 5. And then going on to most medals by nation for Border Cross, my last one. We have Belgium and Switzerland, both have 1 medal each. Poland and Russia have 2 medals each. USA has 4, and GB running away with it with 11. Come on, GB.
Oh. This is like the opposite to the Olympics table.
Yeah, right. You don't even want me to tell you about semi-finals and finals appearances. Woo, good numbers. But that's there you go. There's a quick rattle of my stats corner. I got nothing for downhill. I wasn't at any of them, and I don't have any of the info apart from who won. Soz. But Pete Tatham's the most decorated downhill athlete with 3 out of the 4. There you go. That's another stat for you.
So, and who are we assuming then that if we're looking just at highest places, that are you the most decorated athlete then currently, Matt, in terms of world appearances? I'm assuming so, but I'm assuming that also that there may either be a couple of others that have got plenty of seconds and thirds. Cody being one of them, or are you?
In border cross freestyle or just generally?
Just generally.
I think of the current active riders, I've got the most world medals. But I can't say that for sure going back past like 2012 to when you had the ATP Mag World Tour, the other World Downhills and things like that. Because I know Tom back in certainly 2006 and earlier did quite a few titles, didn't he, with ATP Mag? But of the current active riders, so my stats, here we go. For the border cross, I've only ever come 1st or 2nd at the World Border Cross Championships so far. I got a lot to lose this year. I've been losing a lot of streaks recently, so this one's going to go. So I got 5 firsts and 2 seconds. And then the freestyle, since I got good, then I've come 1st or 2nd in the world for that as well. But if we go back past before 2012, then there's a bunch of like 10s, 15s at a couple of worlds I did before then. So, and no downhills until this year.
So this brings us back round to a couple of points you made there about our last World Championships of any description was 3 years ago.
4 years ago.
4 years ago. So with cancelled a couple of COVID years. And then before that, and we haven't had a downhill championships in 11 years at all on a world standard, and this is the first time that any of these titles have been available and up for grabs in one event across one year group or one season.
One season or one event.
Yeah, or one event for the entirety of history. So we are making history this year, and I hope that it continues, because I think it's rad that there could be, you know, not wanting to jump ahead, but there could be potential for somebody to win all 3 first places there, at least in the pros. I mean, Dave, I'm assuming you're up for. Are you going Masters this time? I mean, obviously, with the way that the system works, you could potentially go into pros.
No, not interested.
Shall I? Let me dive in quick, because we haven't explained it properly to everyone yet. But last year in the UK Champs, we did the pro category as elimination only, so everyone was pro until they got knocked out. That's coming to the Worlds this year, so everyone will get a pro ranking and their age category ranking. Those who get top 4 in the pros stay in the pro and do the podium. So that's where Dave could get on the podium, or he will get a pro result and aim for a high Masters result as well.
Yeah. So once you race through the pro class as such, when you get knocked out, you then fall back into your age appropriate class and then continue on that category or class until you get knocked out of that. So yeah, there is potential for you to go pro, Dave, as there is everybody who races. But, you know, I think building on your momentum from the UK Champs there this year, I know you're keyed up for going to the Worlds there, but you have got some very stiff competition. No least of all on this Zoom call right now.
Actually.
With me and Sloggs,
Right.
and I think it's you know, fairly open knowledge now that me and Sloggs will probably not be racing at the UK Championships this year. I say probably, we will not be racing at the UK Champs this year, as we have other commitments with live broadcasting of said championships. So effectively, we have both retired. We are having a last hurrah at the Worlds, though.
You put in a Brind, like
we're gonna be putting our best out there, Dave, and laying it all on the line for one last time. So yeah, good luck, young man. Good luck. But
good luck to you too.
I've got some worse news though. You realise that Cody is also a master.
No.
Sorry.
How old is he? What's the master's age? Is it 35?
35.
Okay.
35.
Dave,
So
it doesn't matter. You're gonna if he comes on the podium, you'll just have to get on the podium as well.
Yeah.
Well, if he's on the podium, then that opens up another master spot, doesn't it? Yeah. So you just got to hook Cody's top 4 every time, and you'll, you know, climb up the ladder.
Now, what other masters can we expect? Let's give the masters here a little airtime before we get onto the main event, if you will, the meat and potatoes pro class. But if we assume, what masters have we got in there at the moment? Dave, we've talked about. Me and Sloggs will be there competing. The fantastic Steve Birkbeck is being dragged kicking and screaming out of retirement and coming on a road trip to do the Worlds.
We're actually going to kidnap him, dump him in a sleeping bag, and drag him across the channel with us.
We've just discovered there that Cody is now effectively of age category in the Masters, and we know that Mael absolutely rips on a board and is age appropriate Masters, and also a guest a few episodes back, TJ Tillen Javornik is also Masters class.
If he doesn't go pro, he's a big pro risk, I think, in my opinion. Not freestyle, but border cross and downhill for sure. He's in contention for podiums on both. Like
really,
yeah.
He's that strong. How has he fared in previous years?
He never races pros, so we don't know how he does against us. But he's dominated the Masters for the last 3 World Border Cross Championships, starting with Compton. No, wait, Leon won Compton, but it was close. It was close. So yeah, but he's dominated the last 2 or 3 World Border Cross. So
fair enough. Has there been any notice on his qualification times in comparison to pro class?
I will have to double check if somebody
double check on that. Any other David? Any other riders coming from Poland to champ or your surrounding areas?
I don't know for now. Many people asking about the champs a few weeks ago, but now I'm not sure who coming this year. But I think it will be like always from 4 to 8 riders from Poland, maybe. So
Nice.
in Masters, probably we'll get one. Vitek, he also started in Compton in 2017. So probably he going there, and he's over 40, so he's master.
No, Piotr? Is it Piotr? Piotr?
Peter is 34, I think.
34?
Yeah, if I remember good.
Wild boards, Peter.
Yes, he's
What?
not so old. He just looks like that.
Damn.
Sorry.
Because he's bald. Sorry. How about I had his name at the top of my tongue just a moment ago. Let me find it again. There was another one that I was thinking of. Magic.
Maciek.
Is he not
Bielik or
from
Kogut?
Kogut, yeah. Kogu, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. He now not living in Poland. He probably living in the Czech Republic or Slovakia. So we don't have too much contact with him now. So I'm not sure.
Shame.
He was good on the border cross. So.
Yeah, right? He was on our ass.
Yes. And he's also from the mountains. So on the downhill, he probably also can do something good on the track. So we will see.
I think we've got Scully's now a master, is he not?
Don't worry about Scully.
Oh, Cassay.
That's half of what this episode's about, right?
What, just smack talking now?
Yeah.
We're already at that stage.
This is round one of the border cross right here between me, Dan, and
Right.
James.
So while we're still talking border cross, how many of you have actually ridden Compton in the state that it's in now? In the features it's got now. So walk us down through it.
I did a video, so you can watch that on my Instagram. But so it's a start. The start is you pull into a quarter pipe. So there's like a little gap to clear, but you can roll it. But it benefits if you do a little jumping in. You drop into a quarter pipe, which then goes into a flat and a drop off onto like a block paved landing, up a kicker, all block paved into a tabletop. Then you drop down lower again on the landing of that into another tabletop, which has got a roller halfway down the landing. Then you have a lovely nipple, very nice nipple, into a kind of hipped table. Then you're into the massive turn one now, which has been, the radius on it's been like doubled since before. So if anyone's been to Compton before, there used to be a bike line on the right-hand side of the track. That's totally gone. We're now all the way up to the fence. And then we come round, swoop round the first corner and meet up with the same second straight. That first corner has about 1 million lines, all work, grip changes constantly. So it's a wild one. So it's going to be carnage through turn one. And then you've got loads of rollers and doubles and kind of like steppy, uppy doubles and stuff like that on the second straight before you get to a table into a right-hand berm. Then it is a small step down, then a medium step down, and then a long step down into a left-hand berm. And then from there, they've just changed it a few weeks ago to be, it used to be like a long snowboard-style tabletop, but now it's a bunch of rollers with funky different height changes and stuff. So I'm expecting a lot of racing all the way into turn two, unlike most tracks, and it's going to be sick. It's really fast. The first section's fast and flowy. The middle section is fast but pumpy, and then the last section is just kind of hang on. No, it's not hang on, but it's a bit of timing, really, so you don't overshoot the step downs a little bit. And then all out in the last straight to the finish, because the finish is now another 100 meters, 50 meters, sorry, or so further than it used to be.
Sounds like it's got a bit of everything then.
Everything. It's a brilliant track. You're going to absolutely love it. It's really great. And you can hit it. It's a beautiful track because it gets harder the faster you ride it. So it brings in everybody, because anyone can hit it at pretty much any speed and any tire pressure, because the first straight's got so much gradient change. But the first straight gets really tough if you're going really fast, but not dangerously so. It just gets hard to get your timing right and get the absolute maximum out of the pumps. And then same with the second straight. The faster you go, the faster the rollers come at you. So it it's hard to ride really fast, but easy to ride slow. So, like I say, that's exactly how you want a border cross track to be, in my opinion. The top guys get challenged just as much as everybody else, pushing their limits.
Is it one where practice really pays off then? Is it like the more you ride it, the better you'll get?
I would say to a degree. The other thing to bear in mind is it's normally 30 degrees there, so it's baking. Those who have ridden it before don't get loads out of constant lapping, not in its current iteration. In the past, there was a crazy spine at the start, and that took a lot of getting used to. So if you've ridden it in the past, you just need to dial in the timing on the first straight, and the rest is fine. For those who haven't ridden it much, then yeah, a good amount of practice on there will really see you like take seconds off of your time. The second straight's like a pump track, so that's not got loads to learn. It's all about nailing in the first straight, making sure you like know which ones to pop on, which ones to absorb, and figure out the first corner. Full stop. Dial in an actual line, which is going to be really hard because it will change every time. But yeah,
I'm definitely looking forward to a little Team GB talk there when we get there at some point. Now, so yeah, given that, let's have a quick round robin for the room there. If we can think of your Masters prediction, who's going to take home Masters for the border cross, the freestyle, and the downhill? And will anyone do all three? David, yeah, let's go, David. You first.
Okay, so I put my money on TJ, on Tilen Jawornik. I think that he will dominate in the downhill and border cross. I don't know if he will even take part in the freestyle. On the freestyle, I think that Team GB or Brazilian guys, they will be good at it. But I don't know who can be that one the best.
Yeah. So will there'll be an overall ranking, I suppose? Will there not, for all classes? Yeah. Now, if Tilen were to dominate in downhill and border cross and just compete in freestyle, I suppose that there's possibility that he might carry through enough points to potentially podium as an overall ranking,
especially if he goes podium for downhill and border cross, because you get extra points going onto the podium compared to winning the Masters. Because of course, to come top 4 in the pro, you have to literally beat everybody else in your age category. So if TJ dips up into podium for border cross or downhill, then he's absolutely a threat for the Masters overall.
Excellent. James, your prediction there.
I agree with TJ for downhill, just because he could take the overall spot. But if he doesn't do that, then he'll win the Masters. Or Biren.
Mm-hmm.
And then border cross, I think probably the same. Those two, put Dave down you in the mix as well for border cross. And then freestyle, I'd actually let's probably say Cody.
Oh, sorry, I forget about him.
Yeah.
For that.
Cody's obviously got some sick tricks, but there is some, stiff competition for the top 4 freestyle, and so he will, he's likely to be in the top 10 for the 5 finals freestyle, and if he gets high enough up there, then he'll be the best master.
Dave, what's your as a competing master?
This TJ guy sounds pretty unbeatable on the border cross, right? But then
he's big.
Okay, yeah. I think that Mael, he's doing the freestyle, right? I think from what I've seen of him on Insta, he looks pretty handy. So yeah, depends whether if Cody's on the. I mean, Cody should take it unless he's on the podium, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'd put a lot of money on Biren in the downhill. It's Biren to win it or come last. So
I like that. I think for my part in this, I would have to go with my favourite Frenchman, Mael, for across the board. I don't think necessarily I think he definitely held his own in the freestyle. I don't know too much about his competitive border cross or downhill riding, but I know he can certainly he's certainly at one with his board. So I'd imagine that if he's wanting to ride in a competitive manner, then he probably can very much hold his own in those disciplines. And I'd put my money on him as a sort of a decent standard across all three disciplines there. Matt, what are you? Who are you thinking? Are you going down the TJ route? I'm assuming, or Cody.
I don't want to be that guy and say Cody's not making the border cross finals for the front. I know he'll come. I'll just fuel his fire and he'll smash us all then. So I think TJ won't make the podium in border cross. So I think it'll be him and Mayel in the border cross for the fight. I think for freestyle, we've got to remember that Alex, is it Lampada? I can't remember. I don't know how to pronounce his surname, but from Brazil, he's a pretty hot freestyler. He's coming over. So I think him and Cody and Mael. I'm being really boring with these predictions, aren't I? For the freestyle. Downhill, TJ is on the podium. I don't see any world where TJ isn't podiuming in downhill. So I think I will put a cheeky shout out to Vince there, who's organising it. It's his local. He knows the area. I think Vince is a good shout for Masters podium at least. If Pete Tatham comes along, I think he's going to be flirting with the podium, but he's not as bolted on as TJ. So I think Vince, Pete Tatham, and I will throw a little splash of beer into the mix for the downhill.
Is Pete going?
I don't know, but that's been the big unknown, right? Hopefully.
Oh,
it wouldn't really be a world downhill without Pete, would it? So we can but hope that he's coming along.
Is Rennie going? Because if Rennie's going, he's in the mix for all of them as well.
Oh, yeah. If Rennie's going, then let's start again.
And I'm sure that there are probably, a wealth of riders out there in all of these categories that we're probably missing off the top of our head.
Yeah, Marco a master. Marco Dalla. Is he a master?
Marco Dalla, it's got to be by now.
Because if he is, he's right up there for all three in the Masters, if not getting onto the podium for downhill.
So, Masters. Now, quickly, whilst we're on other categories there, is there going to be a juniors or a Groms category this year?
There'll be a juniors, but not expecting to do any Groms.
And who do we have? I heard on the grapevine that Lewis was hoping to come over from Bugs.
On Thursday,
don't know if that's still the plan. No,
yeah,
I'm seeing him.
He is. I saw him on Thursday. He said he'll be there. So.
Oh, fantastic. There you go. So Sloggs is shaking his head. Dave's saying, "Yeah."
You seen Lewis up at Bugs? Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, he's allowed back on site.
No context. Leave it there. Move on.
He was trying to do front flips on the bag on Thursday.
Nice.
Excellent, and I'm sure that there's a decent scene in the French department there, but unfortunately I'm not well versed in the international youth scene.
I think most of them have clocked over the age to be a junior anymore, but I need to double check. So I think we'll just quietly move along.
Okay, let's talk about the ladies then, because I have to say,
can I get a prediction in first?
All right, then I'm going to go with Lewis.
Right, because I want to do my Masters.
Yeah.
All right.
Jeez.
I go TJ downhill, Beeran for the border cross, Mayo for freestyle. But I'll probably put a kiss of death on all of them. Bless them.
It's a solid set. A solid set of names.
Are you giving us an overall prediction for the Masters?
Well, we haven't done any overalls yet, have we? That was just the Masters we did, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, do you want to give us one?
No, go on. Go carry on now.
Oh, no. Okay, now we can carry on. So
TJ for the overall Masters. TJ will win the Masters overall. He won't have the best freestyle result, but it won't matter because he'll have dominated the other two.
There you go.
So, Dave, before I know Dave has to cut short here in a moment because we've done a hell of a good job of just waffling on here already. Dave, before you go, we've tackled the Masters. we've just talked a bit about the youth class there, and I'm assuming you're going to go with Lewis.
The only one I know. So yeah,
that's it. Ditto. Ladies.
I mean, if Lisa's there,
she's not going to be there.
Again?
Well, possibly. she's nursing a broken elbow at the moment, and she's not sure she's going to be repaired in time. Is the bottom line?
That's a shame, because she would have crushed it.
She would
in all categories.
Yeah.
I don't know any other. Who else is competing in the ladies?
Margot will be there. She's a fairly solid bet. She does it all.
Yeah, she's pretty handy.
Depends. I wonder if Sonia's going to stay. If Sonia comes, I wonder if she stays open, James, or if Sonia's been racing with the men the last few years, but with the new pro system, maybe she'll drop back into the ladies this time. Maybe not. I don't know. If she drops back into the ladies, it's all Sonia's. Yeah. It'll be a really good battle to see Sonia versus Lisa. I would love to watch that. Those two would have a great time on the track, and it would be hella close.
That would be good. So, Dave, your pro winner for prediction before you go.
I'll do all the categories. I reckon in the border cross, I think Matt or Eamon. I think.
Not that battle again.
And then in the freestyle, I'm gonna put Matt or Andy. Like, some of the stuff Andy Brind is doing is amazing, and if he can stick some of his good tricks, then yeah, I reckon he's right up there. Nikki, are there any rails in the freestyle course?
Not this time. Maybe like one at the end, so you can hit the quarter pipe and hit one. And we're trying to see if they'll make a movable rail for the very top, so you can hit drop off or rail to start your run.
Nicky G's always a good dark horse, because he's got some. If he's like on song, he's got some sick tricks, and especially if there's some rails in there, then he could like step it up on them. So I think he's a good shout for it, and definitely Dawid as well. I don't know if I already said you Dawid, but yeah, definitely in the mix. And then in downhill, I'm backing Eamon in the downhill, because whenever I watch Eamon ride, he just looks faster than everyone else. Like, he looks rapid. I remember watching him at downhill last year and at EBIT. I know he won't have a motor this time, but he just looks that bit faster. He like holds it so fast through the corners. I could see him taking it.
Nice. Well, Dave, if you have to get off at all now, feel free to drop out at any moment.
Thanks very much for having me. And I'll see you in France, all of you.
Yeah.
See you
later. Bye.
See ya. James, you're very quiet there. Very diligently listening.
He's fuming. He's absolutely fuming.
Nobody's called him up as a BX winner.
No, somebody's taken up all the airtime. Really. So back to ladies. While we were talking about it, La made a very good shout. If Senka is still around, she will also, battle out. Senka, Erica, Sonia, the three of them.
Blaze was pretty good as well, wasn't she? From Slovenia. She was a good shout for the border cross.
Yeah. But Lisa would always have the edge in the freestyle. That's where she'd smash it compared to the other ladies. So,
yeah. I know. Seeing her race at Hart Hill 2 years ago now was just such a. I mean, watching her race at any event, Lisa, if you're listening, you're incredible, and it's a joy to watch. The other ladies, I best hope you don't turn up there, in my opinion. But yes, like I say, I'm not familiar with the likes of Sonia and Erica and the other ladies there that have been mentioned. So I suppose, gents, we're coming up for 45 minutes or so here now. We should be looking to move on to the main event. Do you reckon? The pro category. Now, there are many riders coming and joining us from around the world there. I would have to go. I'm going to ask Matt a question here, because he's got all his fingers and all his thumbs in every mountain board pie around the world. And know of any riders that might be coming? Can you give us a lowdown on any ones that haven't been told to keep it on the down low? Or and that we've had a few announcements. We know Coney hasn't been mentioned. We know he's turning up. We don't know if he'll race or ride or what, or whether
he'll compete. He'll get too much stick from me and Cody if he doesn't compete. Cody especially too much. But yeah, Coney will be competing, I'm sure.
But yeah, Coney's definitely coming. Cody's definitely coming there. Yeah. Who do we mention from Brazil flying in?
Alex Lampada. He runs King Kong Park. Park. Yeah, from South America, Brazil. Let's see. I'm literally just looking at.
I mean, obviously the French contingent are going to be in there in their home turf.
Yeah. But I'm not super close to the ground on this one, I'm afraid. You've set me right up to give you a good load of names, and I don't have any to give you.
Oh, no.
I'm afraid. I was hoping a couple of months ago that there'd be a few cheeky ones that would really get some goosebumps going, but alas, it hasn't happened. But of course, you've got Nicky G is definitely coming. Arno van der Wever is definitely coming. Wouldn't be the same without the VDV there. Not sure who's coming from Poland, David. You've got a better shout out for that coming from your side of the world. Have we got Christoph? Is Domi coming?
No, Dominic this year spending in Norway. So he's trying to get more riding and more riders in Norway now. Christoph
and putting out some amazing content for the record.
Yes, yes. He started doing something with that. Christoph got another young kid, so he's probably off. I don't know what about the Simon. I talked yesterday with the Patrick. Maybe you remember him from the Compton 2017. He was in the top 8. He's thinking about coming back.
Nice.
So maybe him. And we're trying to get 2 young guns. One will be in the open category because Konrad, maybe you remember Konrad from the World Championships in Poland. He was the junior last time. And we got one new guy. He's 13 years old, Timek. And maybe he will come with me. So I think that in the junior, he can make something on the border cross. So awesome. We'll see.
Nice to hear. James, who do you know of coming from the UK at the moment?
All of us, lad.
Dave?
Mark Bishop.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be a great one to watch. I think by the sound of the excitement from everybody, pretty much 80% of the UK champs are going to be there, aren't they?
Yeah, so Smelt's coming. Eamon, Emlyn, Will Fox.
Sonny, Ash.
Sonny and Ash, if Sonny can get a lift.
Scully. I think. I can't remember who else. Is Jeff Bond and Ash?
Surely, yeah, I'm sure they're coming. Jeff Bond and Ash are coming, I'm sure of it.
But yeah, I'm sure there'll be a massive turnout there this year heading over.
Of that, Sarah Watson, is she going to compete in the ladies?
Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Sarah, we can peer pressure her into it, can't we? You've got a personal phone number, haven't you, Sloggs?
Yeah, but I'm not sharing it with you. She explicitly told me not to share it with you.
I'll just ask my mum for it then.
Just it on Twitter.
Now, yeah, so that, like we said earlier, Birkbeck, the amazing El Burbecchio is coming over. We hope that.
I love that track.
Lock up your hay bales.
Yeah.
But yeah, so James, I'm going to come to you first as the quiet member of the group there for a minute.
Yep.
Who are your predictions for the top? Let's go to top 3. Do you reckon?
Podiums.
Yeah, for the top 3 overall, and who do you think individual's going to win each category? Freestyle.
I did a mat and wrote some notes because I knew I'd forget otherwise.
Oh, nice.
And yes.
I only did board across and freestyle. I didn't even think about the downhill because I'm not going. I've done...
No.
Yeah, controversial, right? When he wins the board across and freestyle, he's going to be pissed off that he's not going to the downhill to try and get the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
Lars just shouted, if I win both of them, then I can go. There we go.
Well, no, that's not.
Oh, there's motivation.
I want you to come, but I don't want you to win.
Well, my predictions aren't including myself because I didn't think I wouldn't be as brash as Matt down there. So
hey, I didn't include myself either. There's no assholes here.
Okay, I've done two. What I think will happen and what I want to happen. So border cross top three. What I reckon will happen is Cody 1, Matt 2, and Andy 3. That's
Nice
what I reckon. But what I would prefer to happen is Andy 1, David 2nd, and Cody 3rd. Sorry, Matt. That's what I prefer. And then freestyle, again, what I think will happen is Matt for the win, David 2nd, and Andy 3rd. Only because Matt and David, I think, sorry, Andy, are better at holding the pressure. But what I want to happen is for Andy to win, David to get 2nd, and 3rd place I don't really mind because it's just me and I don't want Matt to be there. So
what I'm getting right now is that you want Andy for the Triple Crown.
It's about time Andy got a good title. Let's be fair, no matter what it is.
Yeah. I can go with that. We can go with
downhill. I'll have to think on my feet. What I think will happen is TJ, Matt, David. What I want to happen is Matt, David, TJ.
Is he happy to allow Matt one of those there?
No, you can have.
Yeah, can have one of the titles there.
If I'm having one, that's the one I want as well. So
that's what I'm thinking. You haven't had one before, so I wouldn't mind that.
David, I'm coming to you next.
Okay, I also got something on my telephone. So, James started from border cross, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So, border cross, I think that it will be Matt first, Cody on the 2nd, and James or Andy on the 3rd place.
Nice.
On the freestyle, Matt, Nikki, and Andy. I think that Andy ride a lot from the last year in the freestyle, so he can be that dark horse. And I also see that Nikki is coming back, so he got some good tricks, he got some style, so I put some money on him also. And in downhill, TJ on the 1st. I was thinking about the James on the 2nd because I saw James on many tracks, mostly border cross, and he was always fast. Also at backboarding last year, and I don't have idea for the 3rd place. Sorry, Matt, but I didn't see you too much in the wood, in the forest, so I don't know who can be 3rd. This is my
nice.
And overall, still Matt, even without downhill, like the TJ without freestyle. So you got this.
Did you, James? Did you give us an overall? Like who takes home the?
No, I didn't. I think Matt would take it, but I'd quite like David to have it, to be honest.
There's some nice love on. Sloggs.
I think it's about time that you're the younger generation, and I think it's about time that we didn't take it anymore.
My body is not so young now.
I just want to read between the lines here a second, because James wants Andy to win the border cross and the freestyle, but then David to win the overall. So how bad do you think Andy's going to do in the downhill? For David to come through.
Who knows?
So I don't forget like I did on the last round.
So I'll go TJ for the downhill because he's got the experience on that terrain, and he's got the board, he's got the hours in. It's his thing, isn't it? Big. It's like big wave riding, really, like the surfing world.
Yeah, there's not many people that specialise in that style of riding like he does on the daily.
But I think if Pete does come, he'll be straight up his ass, and it'll be really close. But that is if Pete does come.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it. I'm going to take Matt on board across and freestyle because I know he's frothing at the bit at this. The thought of having 3 belts up for grab, unifying the fucking titles, and he's been working hard at it. You've got, and that's how I think it's going down. I don't want to say it because he's sat on the call with, but that's how I honestly think.
Yeah, I'm getting a little sore downstairs with all the sucking that's been going on, boys. You need to give me a break.
You got a flopper there as well.
Huh?
That's my honest prediction. That's what I reckon. That's how I think it's going down.
Come on, Matt, give us your predictions. I mean, obviously, we can assume that what you want, as James gave what you think will happen and what you want to happen. Let's assume that the competitive edge in you does actually want you to achieve the first Triple Crown. Somebody have some confidence in themselves here. But taking that out of the equation, if you cannot vote for yourself.
Yeah. So I didn't put like a finishing order top 3. I just did 3 favourites, but probably in order that I want them. And I've done a wild card as well, that I think would be a little spice in the mix. Unfortunately, David's news earlier about the Polish has taken a lot of my wild cards out, but I'll chuck them in there anyway. So for Border Cross, my 3 favourites in order of favourites is Andy, Cody, Dawid. My wild card is Tosha from Serbia, to be wild with it. But if I wasn't going to be so wild with the wild card, I think James is due a World Border Cross podium, to be honest. I think James is up there. But I wanted to be a bit more wild than a standard result, so Tosha, not James. For the freestyle, so I'm pumped to hear so many people saying Andy, genuinely. That's great. I want to say, because it's best 2 runs count, you've only got to land 2 banging runs. That brings so many people into the mix, whereas like in the past where it's been 3 and in the UK sometimes it's been 4, that really like narrows the field down to people who have a good variety of tricks. And because it's best 2 runs only, it's way open. But with that in mind, my 3 favourites in order of favouritism is Dawid, James, then Nicky. I would normally put Nicky a little higher, but he's only just getting back into riding after an operation on his ribs. So it's might be a bit of too little too late, but he certainly looks like he's putting the effort in and getting out there and going places to practice and try and find his legs again. So, and let's be honest, if anyone's going to miracle some tricks out of nowhere, it's going to be Nicky.
I did see him dropping a cheeky dub on a cheeky double on an airbag the other day.
Exactly. So,
yeah,
now my wild card to be spicy is Ivan from France. He hasn't ridden for 6 months until he came, pretty much 6 months or something, until he came out to the French demos the other weekend. And he's throwing frontside cork 7s, backside cork 5s, and attempting doubles. So he's my little wild card. But if I'm not being so wild, it's Andy. But it's not Andy, like it wasn't James. It's Ivan. No. But downhill, this one is obvious. It's TJ. I mean, we've all seen the Facebook posts and stuff, right? Like 29 kilometers every other day ridden on his board. Like for me, the downhill is a red piste with a little cat track and then a red piste. So it's open, but very steep. So it's all endurance and speed control. So if you've been riding over 20 kilometers 2 or 3 times a week, for weeks on end, I think you're the only one who could win this event, frankly. But not just because he's riding loads. Let's give him fair dues. He has the mind for it too. This is, like Slog said, this is his thing. This is absolutely TJ's thing. He is a tank. He is a bulldozer, and he loves going fast. So those are all the things you need to be good on this sort of downhill course. So TJ, easy money. Pete Tatham, if he arrives, is my next favourite. Then Biren is my 3rd favourite there. Now, my wild card, I went with 3 here. They were all a little bit wild, but 2 of them are probably wiped out straight away, so I'll go with them. I put Dominic as a wild card. He looks really solid on his board again, and he's always been solid and good with downhill. I also put Peter Damek from Poland, because I remember having a pretty fierce battle with him in Italy in 2014 for the European downhill. He's a bulldozer. He's solid, and he's got balls as well. And my other wild card is, of course, Marco Dalla from Switzerland. They love the Alpine Mountains. He is an absolute charger, so he couldn't not be on the list. into the overalls now that I've had more time than everybody else.
Before you just chop on there into the overalls, can it just be noted that your top 3 for the podium were all masters?
Yeah, because they're rippers.
Nice to see the old boys, the old boys, or what I still regard the old boys, getting some there. Continue, Matt, continue.
If I didn't do those 3, the next would have probably been Cody, to be fair, on the downhill. So it's still a master.
It's still a master.
To be honest. Overall, top favourite is Dawid. Second favourite is Andy. Third favourite is Ivan, because he rips in all 3. I think border cross will be his weakest, but downhill he should shine. I would have put James in, but he's not doing the downhill. Otherwise, it would have been tough, really tough to choose between Dawid and James for the top favourite there. And my wild card was Simon from Poland. My wild card for the podium overall, but he's not coming either. So wild card for the podium, Cody Stewart for the pro overall. There we go. Nailed it.
Nice.
Nailed it. See you later, boys. What's the accumulator on those?
I don't know. They're pretty good odds. Nice. That's a proper good call out there. One rider that I'm going to ask about, who I know has got some decent results in his local or his national level, and I'd hope that was going to join us tonight, but unfortunately he's not here. But Antoine Furelux.
He's a maybe.
Yeah,
it's peak season for his work, so he might not make it during the week. So he might turn up just for the Friday, maybe just Saturday, Sunday. So that's why he didn't get much mentioning on mine anyway. But yeah, unfortunately,
that would mean he'd miss out on the qualifying for the pro class anyway. So
yeah,
would not be there. Unfortunate there. So yeah, I think we've pretty much covered most of our predictions there,
except yours,
except mine. Well, yeah, I don't know. Media being the covering, I should stay impartial, shouldn't I?
You're allowed to, you're not the BBC. You're allowed to be a pundit.
If you're forcing it out of me,
all right, Gary Leonard.
Now, I'll level with our viewers there. I've known Matt now here for a very long time, and as much as I rip into him, and as much as he goes on about, sucking his asshole about this, well, yeah, whatever. I would love. I'd love to see the Triple Crown be done. Yeah, I'd love to see the Triple Crown be done, and I think that it could. It's the sort of thing that would round out your CV.
My career. I thought you were going to say my career then.
No, but like you've had everything else, and like a lot of people go down the a lot of people go down the Kirkman route as the GOAT, but I think there's cool in terms of results and hard work and effort that gets put into the community. I think that falls on Matt's shoulders, and I'd like to see that happen. But that aside, Dawid, you're a strong fucking competitor, mate. You're a really strong competitor, and I think if anyone can push him on any of these, it's yourself. Eamon is always in for a shout. I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it at all. He's a very good friend of mine, and he's proven himself over the last couple of years now, where he's he's come forward outside of behind the camera a little bit more and pushed his own riding and has really excelled on it. And I don't think anybody can hold that back from him. And I think he's always going to be in contention there. Mael for the Masters, I said earlier, TJ is going to be, as everybody knows, is going to be hard to beat on there. James, you've got that always the bridesmaid, didn't you? And I'd love to see you be the bride. You'd make a lovely wife for someone. But yeah, all of these riders, you know, there's so many good riders there. Nicky, you know, coming back after a layoff, I'd love to see him do really well again. Yeah, this is the first time the Worlds have happened, as we said earlier, for 4 years. It's anybody's game really, because we haven't got a measuring stick anymore. Chuck it out the window. You're only as good as your last race or your last competition, aren't you? Especially this. We're all getting older year by year.
Not the UK Championships.
Yeah. But yeah, and there are a whole load of people that I haven't mentioned here that are equally as able and, you know, equally as frothing to get involved and do well in these competitions.
It seems criminal as well, freestyle wise. I don't think any of us mentioned Emlyn either.
No,
he's a dark horse.
All him and really Eamon, we can put them both in the same bag. If they can start nailing some big switch tricks, then I think that's really the only bit they need to do to not be right at the top all the time. Really,
agreed.
Yeah.
Bit of switch from them, and they'll be jumping up. I was also thinking, what happens if Joel Treliving turns up? What happens to
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, how does he hold out on a freestyle, do you reckon?
He's not doing anything in freestyle. Don't worry about that.
Just for the border cross, are you saying?
For the big border cross. Yeah.
You'll just throw some crazy shapes for the fun of it, but freestyle is something that's really hard to take years off and jump straight back into. But when he just turned up at Serbia, he turned up without a board, having not ridden for how many years, and he just turned up like on the road, which is a third of the way down the track. Didn't look at it at all, and he was there for approximately 30 seconds before he stole someone's board helmet and just dropped in, no preparation whatsoever. Hadn't ridden for years, and then came back up after the walk about 10 minutes later, going, "Cool, that's harder than I thought it was going to be."
I mean, don't get me wrong, he was sketchy for the entire weekend, but he was fast where it mattered. Like, you get across the road and you can't get overtaken very easy, and that's why we had like the best semi-finals of all time, right? It was we were the bread and the sandwich, right, James? You got to watch it from the back, I got to watch it from the front of Beer doing his best.
That was the most intense spectating I think I've ever done, because I was in fourth, and Beeren and Joel were wheel to wheel, side by side, for I think 7 corners.
Yeah,
it was just, they were like click click, but they were going back and forth, clipping wheels. Nobody fell over, and I pulled back a little bit, thinking, well, all they need to do is fall over, which they're going to.
Just wait to punch.
And it just didn't happen, but it was just incredible to watch.
Yeah, and then the next year was Compton, and Compiègne's a track where you it's a pump track, like I say, so you don't have to have be super solid on the board necessarily. So someone like Joel, who's big and strong and has loads of time on the board in his history anyway, could just come out and go flying. So he was actually top qualifier for the Compton year, because Cody had the fastest time but crashed out in his first qualifying race because he wanted to pick up that stray penny. And so Joel got top qualifier for Compton that year.
He hadn't wiped himself and Andy out in the final.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that would have been the title I didn't get for sure. I wouldn't have come second either. It would have broken my streak there. But Joel took himself and Andy out with me and Evgeny in the slow lanes. Good thing for this year in Compton, there is no slow lane. Every lane is exactly the same. They keep the whole track covered all year, and the start is all block paved now, so there's no grass. So all 4 lanes are the same. Another fun fact, we're doing 4 qualifying races. You race once from each lane in qualifying.
Nice.
So there we go, little tidbits for
you. Looking back as well, one of the funniest memories from that final, I was stood in between straight 1 and 2, and obviously Matt had been taken out by Andy, and I just remember you coming round, you're in first in the world final, and just looking at me and going, "Is Andy okay?"
I was screaming. I was going, "Go check Andy, he's all right." Joel took out Andy, go check he's all right. They're like, "Hurry up, Matt, go check Andy." I felt bad.
What's wrong?
That was Andy's title. I was so sure Andy was winning that one, and then it got taken away, not for any fault of his own. But that's racing, right? That's racing.
In qualifying as well, because it was timed races over timed laps. over a certain amount. But didn't he do something like 36 qualifying laps?
Oh yeah, Andy did the most. Was it? Yeah, Andy did the most. So this was, we had a window of time to put laps in, as many as you like. Then we had races, whereas now we do timed races. So Andy put in like 44 qualifying laps to get a time.
And then I just remember it, like the time finished and him just walking up, lying down, and within 30 seconds he was asleep. He was just like so
Talk about cramming. That is exam style when he did his GCSEs.
Yeah. I've got a question for you all then. Gun to your head, Triple Crown, yes or no this year by anybody? Go, Dan. Triple Crown.
I've already said I'd like to see it happen.
No. But gun is on your head. If you're wrong, you're dead. What do you think? Yes or no?
I would, if without the downhill, yes, but I'm going to say no because I don't think we go downhill. Sorry.
No. This is it, right? What I'm trying to show is how hard this is. And I think it's like, in mountain bike slopestyle, they have the Triple Crown, and like it took forever to be won. There's a reason for that, and it only got won for the first time when there were 4 comps, and you could win 3 out of 4. Because it's that impossible until a Milhook Johansson comes. So this isn't like a dick sucking session. This is really.
Okay. In that case, then I would like to see you do it, Matt. But the chances are just I'd like to see it happen, and I want to have faith.
Just say no, Dan.
Too many others. No. Then I don't think it's going to be taken.
I don't think so. I don't think anyone's taking a downhill off TJ unless he makes a massive. No, I don't think so. No.
You're actually on to the point, right? Injuries. There's so much competition going on before the downhill as well that anyone could get hurt before then. Yeah. Or, use up too much energy in the freestyle or the border cross, and that's it. So, go on, David. What do you think? Triple Crown, anyone doing it? Yes or no?
Same. No. How did you say too much can happen between the all competitions? So, too much pressure, 2 different locations, 3 disciplines, too much in 1 week. It's not the same like the crankworks in mountain bike.
Yeah.
And border cross is so unpredictable as well. That's the thing. With downhill freestyle, hard work pays off, but the best in border cross can just be wiped out. Nothing, to do with themselves.
And we don't have downhill. We don't have downhill from the last 10 years, so it's really hard to say who is really fast.
And I think the weather might take it out of the Brits as well. If it's really hot, we suffer quite badly with the heat.
And from my experience, nobody really suffers more with heat than Andy. In Serbia, he struggled hard when they had that really hot year. Do you remember?
Yeah. Was that the same year he had to make a bag nappy because he grazed himself so bad? And he was sticking to himself. So he made a plastic bag underwear. It was extra uncomfortable in the heat. But yeah, in case nobody got the implication there, I'm saying no to the Triple Crown too. I don't think there's anyone that's good enough overall. I think this is finally the year where being a specialist is going to pay off. Our sport has had a lot of generalists dominating it and doing well in it, so people who are good across multiple disciplines. I think this year finally rewards the specialist, the person who is focused just on border cross or focused just on downhill. I'm mostly thinking just focused on downhill because TJ is a downhill rider and he's winning it. It's already like, why are we even competing? But I think it's going to be a specialist year. I think people who focus on their disciplines are going to do better than they normally do. Like specialist generalist argument. Like I look at say like Jack Chu and Leon Dove. They're border cross specialists. They do border cross. That's what they do. Pete Tatham was a bit of a generalist, but mostly he was a specialist in the downhill, especially by the end. And those sorts of things. Nicky's a freestyle specialist. So, and then you got the generalists like the 3 of us guests on here. We're all generalists across all the disciplines. We do well in all 3, but I don't think anyone is good enough in all 3 to take all 3. It's not happening.
Nice. Well, I mean,
we're on to another year.
That's it, and we'll have to organise another Triple Crown event.
Yes.
Are
you offering?
Am I offering?
You're offering to organise it. Yeah.
I'll help. I've
got the spreadsheet I've been working on here.
You got it all.
You can take over next.
quite
Well,
young.
look, gents, I'm not going to. We want to keep this one a little bit shorter and a little bit sweeter for our guests there and our viewers and listeners. But before we do, as is custom, I'm going to come around and ask each of you there if there's anything else that you'd like to offer to the podcast beforehand. And I think it wise to maybe go to either David or James first there. David, James, either of you want to go first? Is there anything else that you want to thoughts on the championships this year, or anything that you want to add to the conversation? David, while you're here, let's go with you first. Is there anything about the Polish community competitions that are happening this year that you want to put out? Is Mosquito Park holding any events?
Yes, when we're talking not about the Worlds, but on the other competition, really want to organize the Polish champs like the last year in the 19 September. Yes, if I say good. But I think that now the most important are the Worlds. So most people thinking about this. I'm trying to get more Polish riders to the France. I hope that we will get some juniors because we need that young blood on the track. So this is what we want now. This is what we're thinking about.
Nice. James, anything come to you? Anything else you want to add to the World Champs mix there?
No, I think we've covered everything that I can really think of. Did we get through all of Matt's crazy amount of stats? Or actually, here's your spreadsheet. Surely your spreadsheet has worked out who's going to win already.
I do not hard code anything into the spreadsheet, James. Only that you get tricked into thinking you've done better than you have.
Yeah. Or I get fourth or fifth, something like close to okay, but not quite there.
I can only do that for freestyle or downhill. I can't do it for motocross, unfortunately.
We need you to get first and second there in border cross and freestyle, so you're allowed to come to downhill.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
it's not that I'm not allowed. No, we're doing a family holiday beforehand. We're taking the kids to the beach for a few days.
So it sounds like you need a bit of daddy time at the end of it.
No, we're bringing. Lars says, "Fuck off, Matt."
There's space in the car, Lars. I'll take him for you. It's fine. I'll take him off your hands, Lars, for a few extra days. You can get home and unwind, relax, and chill out at home. Put your feet up for a couple of days.
You can take the kids as well. I'm quite excited as well as the competition. If I can stay top 10, then I'm happy to prove I'm still there and I'm still relevant. But it's quite exciting for me anyway. For the European Mountainboard family has been quite a big part of mine and Lars' sort of life over the last 10 or 11 years since we first went to Serbia. I'm quite excited for them to all meet Toby and Ali, to be honest.
Nice.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome for you guys. I was thinking about that earlier, actually. Like, since we all got together last, you've made a family. That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, when we saw Nikki at Dream Teas, I thought I hadn't seen it since I've seen Nikki. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and it's crazy that how much that's changed. And so there's so many people, and Nikki was so stoked to meet both of them. And there's so many other people that it'll be awesome to see the same from all of them.
Matt, final thoughts before the World Champs?
I'm going to quickly go through the schedule.
Please do. Take it away.
I should have done it at the start. Tuesday is arrivals and welcome meal. Wednesday is pro freestyle finals qualifying. You don't need to do qualifying if you're not wanting to be in the top 10 rider final for freestyle. After that, we also have the 4 down premiere. We're going to start announcing who those people are in the 4 down project with their trailers over the next coming weeks. You'll just find out who they are when you see their trailer. And it's premiering in a freaking cinema. Come on. Get on. Massive. Thursday is border cross qualifying for everybody. Like I said, 4 races, 1 from each lane. Everyone except for the juniors will be racing and qualifying together for the first time at the Worlds. Friday is the border cross knockouts. That will go like normal with the tweak that everyone is racing together again until they get knocked out when they go into their age category. And we will do a round of 64 for the pro. So there's going to be one extra race for everyone to contend if they want to get through to the pro top 4. So it'll be just like Grosselach, where we last did a top 64. And then Saturday is the freestyle finals. We'll start off with the age categories, and then we'll crescendo with the top 10 qualifiers for the finals. They'll get 5 runs only in reverse qualifying order, but we'll do 3 runs in reverse qualifying order. Then we'll re-rack it for the last 2 runs based on current standings. So all the pressure keeps mounting throughout, and your best 2 runs count. Sunday is travel day, going over to Super Bez for the World Downhill. Monday is the qualifying for the World Downhill. That will set the starting order for the Tuesday. The Monday, I believe, is a half course qualifying, so kind of a sprint to kind of ease you into it. And then the Tuesday is the finals for the World Downhill over the whole course and the overall prize ceremony in the evening.
Nice.
There we go. Last things to sign off is, if we get this out in time, there is 10% off your tickets for the World Downhill using code WDH10 on the website. Buy your tickets. Compton, you just need to register and pay when you get there. There's no pre-ordering of tickets. Come along. We miss you all. We want to see you all. It won't just be a great competition. It's always a great party and community event. So come along, be a part of the scene. The organisers, I can't tell you how much effort they're putting in for both sides, Compton and Sancy. The best way you can repay them for their work, their dedication, and their love of the sport is to turn up and enjoy it with them. So please come along, and we'll see you there.
Yeah. Please, as Matt says there, please also go ahead and, if you're able to and know you're going to be there, please book in advance. It helps the organisers know the numbers of people that are coming, and that helps it helps the organisers get everything sorted so that they know how to cope with the people that are turning up.
Yeah. One last thing as well. If you're not sure about going to the downhill, there is a car share scheme that's going on, and also there's a minibus, maybe 2, that will be going from Compton to the World Downhill and back, so you can jump in there. There will be spaces to get you between the 2, so we can reduce the costs for everybody, share lifts, reduce our carbon footprint, and all that other stuff that we're trying to be more conscious of these days. So there is a way. If there's a will, there's a way to go to the downhill. If you want to go to the downhill, you can. There's loads of options to go to the downhill. For those audio listeners, I was getting closer and closer to the screen, staring at James. Sorry, La.
Well,
she doesn't accept your apology.
She never has. Why would she start?
Well, yeah, gentlemen, thank you. I am so excited for the World Champs. I'm super excited for the whole season. We've got EBIT still yet to come. We've got the UK Champs to come as well. And if you guys like this episode, if you guys like this episode, we can do another predictions episode potentially for the UK Champs. My apologies. Sorry, Matt.
You want stats, UK Champs?
Yeah, well, save them for another night, not tonight. But yes, my apologies for any visual viewers who have been watching me looking down all night. I've been busy picking this lovely little scab here, and I can't get rid of it. It's annoying.
I've only got
Oh, yes, a beauty.
I got one on my thigh, and I'm not going to show
Get
you.
it out.
It's the season for medals.
I didn't realise you got a scar from a vasectomy, James.
On my thigh.
I don't know. I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
Yeah, let's all do that. Gentlemen, David, James, Matt, Sloggs, thank you all for joining us here. Sloggs, anything you want to say before signing out?
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Thank you.
Adios.
You've been watching the Dirt.
Way aye, man. That was dead canny as out, that like. Cheers for tuning out to listen. Now, before you gan yem, don't forget, if you want to keep getting doing with the Dorty Dort fun, like and subscribe. Get amongst it. Shy Ben's getting out.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys. I'll edit it there. Thank you very much for that. Oh, see you, Dave.
Oh, he's done. He's done.
He's gone. He's over it. So now we can put this in after the credits as like a post-credit scene, yeah, where we just talk absolute smack about Sloggs while he's not here.
Yeah, yeah. I've only just noticed it wasn't Dave. You swapped places with Sloggs.
Let's be fair.
We're still recording.
Yeah.
We're still
Most
recording.
of the episode was kind of like Sloggs wasn't there anyway. You didn't even include his predictions. So.
What's wrong? You guys had a falling out or something, Dan, or what? Like,
No, it's twice now. I've forgotten to go to him. Never mind. Because
to him, Dan.
as we've
to him.
gone through, he seems to have allowed me to do too much of this. I think that's why.
Allowed.
Yeah, I don't think he had much choice. Let's be fair.
Trust me, Dan. I know very much a lot about this topic. People don't allow you. You just force it in by accident.
Just steamroller your way through.
Yeah, you just punch through that ceiling. You just burst through that ceiling and just keep going up.
All right, gentlemen, I am out of here now. I'll catch us all soon.